6 days before Christmas, Tuesday, December 19th, 2017. Like most modern men, I do my deepest thinking in the bathroom. Case in point, the only time I ever read anymore is while sitting on the toilet. That's how I start the relentless cycle of every miserable day. Used to be actual books, but lately I just scroll through my phone. Instead of digging for deeper meaning in Charles Dickens or Khalid Hosseini, I casually browse Wikipedia and stare at clickbait headlines. My intellectual curiosity has evaporated, replaced with crowdsourced cyberbabble. If there isn't a link to a news story in my social media feed, I couldn't give two flying fucks about it. That's the truth. Who has time to think in this fast-paced world? Maybe I should tweet that. I'd probably get a few likes, maybe even a retweet from a D-list celebrity. Anyway, after I finish my morning dump, which comes at 10 p.m. because I work nights, I strip and start my favorite part of the day. I seal myself in with the curtain and let the warm water shower down on me with no consideration at all for my carbon footprint. There are few luxuries left in my life, but rest assured, a long, luxurious shower in which I pleasure myself with a fistful of conditioner is still one of them. With my hairline going the way it has, this brief exercise in self-abuse is the only reason I can see for continued investment in the product. I come down from climax, and that's when my mind begins to wander. I relive the past, reflect upon choices, scheme for the future, anticipate imagined mistakes, and have mock conversations with the shadows of my id. This ritual can go either way for me. Some mornings I feel set up to take on whatever challenges the day throws at me. Others I fight to put on a brave face for the world. Lately I've been spiraling. It seems I can't remember when I wasn't moody or lethargic by the time I clock in at my soul-sapping job. Forced to work ungodly hours, I never see the sun, and only interact with my family when I've saved up some vacation time. This wasn't the world I imagined when I was a child, and I used to consider myself pretty damn creative. I'd always be writing some song. I felt compelled to sing and play the music from the kingdoms in my mind. It helped me to see the beauty all around, or whatever dumb shit poets believe. I still strum my guitar and bellow a tune, but at some point I stopped creating, stopped living in the emotion. That part I used to think was so special has atrophied and rotted away. Which is why I appreciate the benefits of working nights. Gone are the days when I was forced to paint a pretty face and deal with people. Sure, I square off against the same crew of third-shift workers every night, but most of them are even more antisocial than me. Half of them don't speak any English at all. I can just go in, put in my time, and get the hell out of there. Of course, there are a few people that aren't exceptionally good at taking my oh-so-subtle hints. They want to get all chatty whenever they see me, and some nights I don't mind. A little conversation can pass the time, but I see these people every day. Nothing new has happened to them since yesterday. We've got nothing to talk about, not a damn thing with any substance, and there's nothing I hate more than small talk. Aside from personal talk, religion, politics, give me a beer and let's go balls deep on that shit. But fuck you if you want to know how my day's been. And don't ask what my wife thinks about our last couples therapy session. I don't want to talk about the game or your tabloid drama, and since I live in San Diego, you should already know a deep dive into the weather is going to make me want to gouge a fork into my eye. Or yours. Just depends on the day. My shift's barely getting started when Doug, one of the other forklift drivers, launches a probe up my ass. Only 6 shopping days left, Paul. Have you crossed off all the names on your list? I don't have to look at him. I'm quite aware he's watching me with that goofy-ass grin of his. He's been doing this, taking my temperature to his countdown since just after Halloween. Half the time, I don't even know what day it is, but Doug's got a calendar in his head. Every night, he tells me how many days there are between us and Christmas as we wrap up the inspection checklist on our powered equipment. My reaction has been consistent. I ignore the well-intentioned imbecile. Doug shakes his head, laughing and covering his mouth with his hand to hide his missing teeth. "You're such a Scrooge, Paul. You really hate Christmas, don't you?" "I don't know," I say, climbing into my forklift. As I turn on the power, I give Doug a lopsided nod. "Yeah, probably." I pull away from the chargers and turn toward the first trailer I've been tasked with unloading. I don't know, I guess a wild hair crawled up my ass because I don't feel like letting this slide. I decide I want to fuck with Doug. So as I line up with my trailer, I turn to him and say, "Besides, it's a pagan holiday." I hear him sputtering as I flip on my lights and start on the first row of pallets, and I think I've probably given enough information to stop the Inquisition. I haven't been open or honest with him, but why should I? Doug's not my friend or confidant. He's just some guy I work with. Still, his running gag, his constant insistence I'm bitter about this holiday, gets me thinking. And when you work the hours I do and are involved in the kind of tedious tasks I am, time for introspection is maddeningly abundant. "Have you finished your shopping?" Doug asks, again, as though he completely forgot I ignored him the first time he asked. Kind of pisses me off. "No," I say, "I'm broke." A small part of me feels bad for being rude. I feel like I shouldn't leave it like that, so I add, "Not buying a lot this year." Thankfully, Friday is payday, and Christmas is Monday. Kind of cutting it close, aren't you? I shrug. We run our pallets out into the warehouse and park them in the replenishment line, and that gives me a bit of space to clear my head. Maybe it would help to talk out my problem with Doug. It's not like I'd be asking him for help or anything. I'd merely be using him as a sounding board. And who knows, maybe while vocalizing my problems, I'll be able to come up with a solid plan to get some presents under the tree. As we square off to pull out the next line, I say, "Obviously I have to get stuff for my son. Christmas is really for the kids anyway, right? I think I've got him covered, but I have 2 people left on my list." "Who?" "Well, I kind of forgot about the baby." "You forgot about the baby?" Again, we drive the product we've unloaded out into the warehouse. When we return, I utter a delayed laugh. The ice has been broken, and my tongue starts to thaw. Baby's not here yet, so right now she's not mine. She's Schrodinger's baby, neither alive nor dead in the womb. Doug nods, but I don't think he catches my reference. I add, "Not even born yet. She's already costing me a fortune." After another trip to the warehouse, Doug asks, "Who else?" I hop off my forklift to adjust a tilted pallet, and Doug drops down to help. "Oh, my wife, of course." I say this and then find my own list lengthening. "And my sister." I have to come up with something that works as a thoughtful gift for 2 things, since she had the brilliant idea to have her wedding on Christmas Eve. Why'd she decide to do that? I don't know. She says it's because of how much the holiday meant to us when we were little, but I think it's just her way of getting me out there for Christmas. That's why I couldn't get approved for my vacation. Doug stares at me as though I went into the break room and ate his lunch out of the fridge. When do you fly out? We straighten the heavy load. My voice comes out as a grunt. Tomorrow, after work. That should do it, Doug says once we have the product in position. He turns to me with a sardonic smile. Doesn't give you a whole lot of time to find something. Of course, if you're just going off the registry. I nod. My mother had the perfect idea, but I don't have the money to chip in this year. Our radios crackle to life. Doug? Come in, Doug? Go for it, Doug. Can you give me a hand at the front of the store? Doug rolls his eyes. Like I've got nothing better to do. It's all right, I say. I'll help her. He nods as he climbs back into his forklift. Yeah, Thanks. I scan the aisles in search of Stacy, the store's general manager, and find her locking the door to the cash office, her leg against the wall, supporting the bundles of bags in her other hand. She sees me approach and asks, "Where's Doug?" I was coming up front to use the restroom anyway, so... Stacy tilts her head to the side. I was kind of counting on Doug. Her eyes narrow on me. She bites her lip, and I'm struck by how sexy she looks. "I think I can handle whatever you need," I say, and then we exchange sly smiles. Even though I know it's not going anywhere, I'm glad Amaya can't see me right now, flirting with my boss. "All right, I guess you'll do." Shoving her keys into her pocket, she hands the bags to me. I hate going out into the parking lot by myself. It's too dark, and there's always some homeless weirdo out there. "No worries," I say. "I'll walk you out." Stacy shivers and rubs her biceps as we step outside. It's cold. It's not cold. I'm freezing. It's cold for San Diego, but I'll be in Ohio in a couple of days. If it was like this there, they'd be running around in shorts and t-shirts. Stacy presses the button on her key ring, and the trunk of her car pops open. I put the bags inside. "Need anything else?" "Yes, actually." Stacy purses her lips apologetically. "I feel like I'm forgetting something. Could you run by my office and make sure I didn't leave anything important out?" "Sure." She makes a note on a small slip of paper and pushes it into my palm. "This is my phone number. Call me if you find anything." I try to ignore the rush I feel in my guts as I head upstairs to the administrative offices. Seeing nothing on Stacy's desk, I use her phone to call and leave a message on her voicemail. As I make my way to the bathroom, something stops me dead in my tracks. It makes no sense at all. I stare at it, telling myself it must not be what I think it is. Stacy was coming out of the cash office, and we never came upstairs. How could the deposit bag be in the break room? I pick up the bag and look inside. Shit, it's full of cash. With the bag still in hand, I retreat into the bathroom. My mind races. I'm not a thief. Aside from some file share music and a boat I borrowed once without asking, I've never stolen a thing in my life. And yet now I'm confronted by such overwhelming temptation, I find myself struggling. First, I happen to know there's a service call in to repair the security cameras in the store. They went down yesterday, and I got an email informing me I would need to let the repairmen in tomorrow night. There would be no evidence if I took the bag. God, if I took the bag? How can I even think that? Easy. I need the money. That's how. Not just for Christmas gifts, although Lord knows my family is due for a decent holiday. I've got a stack of debt this money would wipe out, and those bills have been holding me back for years. How great would it feel to finally be free? I don't pray anymore. God never answers me. But maybe this is a sign he's finally listening. I look at the face staring back at me in the mirror, the wild eyes shifting back and forth between decisions, the weary lines deepening at the corners of my mouth, the hair that has been thinning and turning more silver as the years have gone by. What the hell happened to me? Just yesterday I was a child with a world full of promise in front of him. Tucking the deposit bag under my arm, I head outside. I unlock my car, open the glove box, and put the deposit bag inside. Telling myself I'm making the right decision, I lock up. With shaking hands, I reach for the crumpled slip of paper. The phone rings twice before she picks up.